As we begin here tonight, a little scene from somewhere along the way. It's not clear exactly when or where this happened, but Elise. You have drawn a tarot deck, intent on using a Taliavel spread, which is an obscure spread taught to certain Tremiers. Fletcher taught you yours a long time ago. This spread draws on primal forces surrounding a person to explore relationships of notes. It has ties to Chaldonic sorcery, and it was once used by the masters to evaluate the loyalty of clan members. However, it's been adopted since then as a means of gaining knowledge about those who are in your orbit. Can you tell us a little bit about where Elise is at this particular point in time and what it looks like as she is preparing to execute her spread?
Elise has sequestered herself in her room for the evening. The room is dark aside from the warm glow of beeswax candles, 2 of them to be precise, which flank her on either side of her ornate dressing table at which she sits. With the help of her ladies Marjolaine and Laurence, she has been freshly bathed and fed. Her hair is brushed and braided, and she sits in a simple silk gown. A bit of coal burns in a shallow bowl to her side, and she sprinkles crushed copal atop it. It's the food of the gods, the sacred blood of the trees. Incense she's collected on one of her many expeditions across the world. It mirrors a simple transmutation. What once was earth turned to smoke and carried away to the heavens above, where it may form a bridge to the divine. From a drawer, she draws a deck of cards, carefully folded in a scrap of silk. It's the Rider-Waite deck, and when she holds the cards in her hand, she can still see Pamela sat in her studio, toiling away at each painting. Elise smiles to herself in remembrance of those times that she would reach out and help guide the young woman's brush with her own visions. Elise focuses again, studying herself in the dressing table mirror, steadying her breath as she begins to shuffle the cards.
You draw the cards. On the upper right-hand corner, you place the first card, which is meant to establish the theme of the chart you're creating. You draw the Wheel of Fortune upright.
Change and inevitable fate.
Then you draw a card for the central figure, the person who the reading is about. Who do you read for tonight?
Fletcher and myself.
Central figures then, Elise and Fletcher. You draw the lovers upright, meaning duality, union. Then you draw supporting cards for each figure. For Fletcher, you draw the Hierophant inverted.
Rebellion. Subversiveness. New approach. At least the cards aren't lying to me tonight.
The second figure is yourself, and you draw the Hangman. Strangely enough, sideways.
Nebulous. Martyr, sacrifice, or needless sacrifice. Let's see, Father Dubois.
You think of the good father, the Malkavian, and you draw the magician inverted.
Trickery. Illusion. What are you up to, Father? What about Colome?
Think of the strange lady in blue with the red hair who appeared to you recently, who seems to be behind so much of the strange happenings in the city recently, and as you draw for her, you draw death inverted.
Stagnation. Decay. Not much for revelations tonight, I guess. What about our friend Vico?
For Vico, you draw the devil upright.
Addiction. Playfulness. Again, nothing new.
As you say that, a card tumbles from the deck, undrawn. The Fool. It lands askew, touching the Lovers and the Magician. It is not usually part of this spread.
Could go either way. New beginnings. Or being taken advantage of. Who is this? Final draw. The consensus. What binds all of us together?
You draw the Tower, but the card is different from the others, and the Tower depicted in this one is an inverted black triangle, so black that it appears as a hole. Then dark, thick liquid begins to pour from the void at the heart of the tower. The liquid quickly fills the room that you are in, covering your ladies, covering you, a flood of it, pulling you down, sticking to you like honey would. In a moment, it has reached up to your throat, and it's still climbing. You feel it just on the edge of your lips. You have a second to say something if you want.
Broken?
And you're pulled under, and all becomes nothingness. You hear then Maria's voice say, "Mother, wake up." You come to. It's just before dawn, the barest hint of amber on the clouds to the east. You're sprawled at the foot of the tree beneath which Maria is buried. Your mouth is full of dark loam that you dug from the grave and fed yourself. What do you do?
Elise begins to weep. She spreads her arms over the ground as though she could hug Maria through all that dirt.
From behind
And
you, you hear...
then-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Her head tilts up and she looks to the horizon. How close is it to dawn?
It is very close. Dangerously close. And as you look up, you hear from behind you Faraday's voice. "Are you okay, darling?"
Faraday?
You turn to look. It's Fletcher who's there, not Faraday. If you've decided it's time for us to walk into the sun together, I wish you would have told me. I would have worn my good shoes.
I don't know how I got out here. I was doing a reading in my room. I think we should go inside.
The sun's about to come up. I think there's been a lot going on. So many things moving, happening all at once. We haven't really taken a lot of time, and he bends down and he picks you up and he lifts you. Oh, carries you in his arms, and as he turns and walks towards the house, he says, "Maybe one evening soon we take some time for ourselves." What do you say?
I think that would be nice.
Did you know that you have dirt in your mouth?
I was hoping you wouldn't notice.
Let's get you cleaned up and in bed. About time, too. The sun's coming in hot. You okay?
I think I am. I saw an omen, I think. I drew the tower.
Well, changes what we're trying to bring to the city. I guess. Good omen?
Perhaps.
We'll see. Let's start by getting you cleaned up.
My mouth is a bit dry. Could use a drink.
We'll set you up. And with that, he carries you inside. As the two of you are going inside, thank you so much, everyone, in the chat. It's been blowing up while we're doing that. It's insane. You guys have Elise and Maud have 14, 9 moves each, and Alexander has 16. So we're gonna say right away that 10 of those are XP, so add them as XP. If you want Brawl to bring the total back down to 4, 6, and 4 for 9 moves, because as soon as they reach 10, it becomes XP for them. So thank you so much, everyone. It's incredible. Your generosity, your kindness. It's gonna cry. Gonna cry. No, but seriously, thanks, gang. We really appreciate you all. Back then, to the last game, Maud, you are in a room just outside the council, the Primogens council room. You are in there with your sire, Thomas, and with you is the Tremere Primogen, Jean Angevin, who has just finished, at the request of the prince, scouring through your memories for information and details about the death of the Ventru Primogen. You recounted the story of how you were about to step into his car with him when you heard a voice, and then the strangest thing ever, the car started to fold in on itself and eventually disappeared, and the madness that ensued with all the people around going completely crazy, and some of them crying, some of them screaming, some of them laughing, some of them just falling catatonic. It was a huge mess. The Tremere Primogen dug into your mind, but just before she did, your sire had taken the opportunity to erase many of the details concerning, well, you don't remember. As Jean finishes scouring your memories, you feel like for a few moments, it was very quick, but you feel as if for a few moments you were a passenger in your own body. You watched somebody else go into your mind, and almost like someone would move into your house and just start moving furniture around and rearranging it however they wanted. That's what it felt like, feeling that presence of Jean Angevin in your head, going through your memories almost as if it was a filing cabinet, and you didn't seem to pay particular attention to anything that wasn't connected to the situation at hand, but she saw everything. What's going through your mind at this point? How are you feeling? What's your state of mind as you are finally sort of coming back down into your body and being let go by her?
I feel violated. I feel frustrated, but I understand that all of this is necessary. But mostly just violated.
As she pulls away from you, she's looking at you, staring at you intently. you hear something in your mind. You realize she's left a thought there. Bonds can become a burden. Should you ever wish to be free from yours, we can help. And she pulls away, and she looks at Thomas and says, I believe we're done. I found a few other little interesting details that might help us in the long run. I think the original assessment of this being human magic is probably correct. We'll share this information with the prince, and then I'll bring it to the rest of the clan, the Tremere, and we'll take a look at it and see what we can figure out. But for now, I think we're done with your child. Thomas says, thank you, Anne. John will speak again, I'm sure. She turns around and she looks at you one more time, very intently. And then she turns and she leaves. Thomas sits down next to you and takes your hand and says, how are you? Are you alright? Are you feeling okay?
That doesn't feel good to have done to you. But I am fine, just frustrated.
Well, it's over now, and if she managed to find a few more details, that could be helpful. I don't think I've been very clear about my feelings concerning Galen's demise. But I think it's time we sit down and have a very frank discussion with all our cards on the table.
You and I.
Mm-hmm. Mostly me, I guess.
Well, I would appreciate that, especially everything that's happened the last couple of days. I suppose I just feel surprised.
I'll explain everything. Will you come home with me tonight? We'll sit and I'll explain everything.
I suppose I wouldn't mind some alone time.
He pulls out his phone and presses a number on it, and you know that it's calling his car. I've taken extra precautions. We shouldn't worry too much that what happened to Galen's going to happen to us, but as much as Galen and I seem to not always be on the same page about certain things, I have to tell you that Galen was my oldest friend. And
yeah, of course.
I feel the loss of him very deeply, and I fear that some of the decisions that Galen and I made in the past few years may have unwittingly put us in a bit of a situation.
And at this point, he was holding my hand, and I kind of re-established that grip in a compassionate kind of way, and I say, I suppose I only wish that I was more aware of this. I mean, now we can only fix what's been done, but I'm here for you, Thomas. I've always been here for you.
I know, and I appreciate that deeply, and I think now, perhaps more than ever, you have to understand that if you were not more aware of the situation, it's because we wanted it that way. We thought it would be best if people thought that we were not as close as we were.
I understand that. I truly, I understand the intention. But if we're going to be a team, we should operate as a team. And especially from this point forward, our relationship is too old to be leaving holes in it like this.
I agree, and we should have done this a long time ago. And as you said, all we can do now is try to pick up the pieces and make sure that nothing else gets broken.
Yes.
Come, let's go. I've had enough of this place, and I'm sure you've had enough of this place too.
Easily.
And he'll stand up and he'll hold your jacket for you. The two of you will head towards the elevator. You notice that there are still a few people in the Primogen's room talking. At this point, you assume the prince is being brought in on everything that the Tremere Primogen has discovered. He says, I don't think you have to worry about Jeanne. I was in the room and I watched her, and I don't think she did anything untoward. But if you notice anything strange, or if you feel that perhaps something is missing or something is there that shouldn't be there, don't hesitate to say so. I know she's Primogen, but we will have recourse.
Sure. No, nothing is out of place as far as I'm aware.
Excellent. The two of you will get into the elevator and down to his car, and that is waiting with the driver. And I think maybe perhaps as you are about to enter the car, you have a moment of, you know, the last time things didn't go so well when you entered into a car like this, but nothing untoward happens. And as the two of you head off towards this place, we find our good friend, Father Alexander Dubois. Where do we find a good father? This is a little later.
But he's taking the safest mode of transportation in all of Montreal to visit his illustrious leader of his gifted brethren and sisters.
And so you are headed to the Douglas Mental Health University Institute, which your Primogen, Adelaide, runs. It is the one and only mental health institute in all of Montreal, and she has come to it not from the mental health point, but from the university standpoint. She is an academic originally and has studied on an academic level psychiatry and so on and so forth. And you know that the main reason why she has sort of sunk her claws into this place is because she feels that's what a Malkavian Primogen would do, and she doesn't want to disappoint people, and she'd rather people think her very standard Malkavian Primogen, and you know, perhaps be able to surprise them. But as you approach the place, you are met by the night porter, who recognizes you right away, and he goes, Father Dubois, feels like it's been a while since we've seen you around these parts.
Well, it seems as though you all were in good hands, I think. I keep to myself and have my own machinations. Why would I come around a building full of nut jobs? That doesn't make sense.
Well, when you put it that way, Father, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Checking in or visiting someone?
Would like to see her grace, please.
Ah, yes. Well, you know where her office is. I will announce you if you wish to make your way down there.
Yes, you'd better buzz me up. I don't think she'd enjoy surprises.
She's not fond of them, though.
No. She didn't take too kindly to the last one, but...
No, and it took a while to get all of that out of the walls, so I'll thank you for not repeating that performance.
I thought in the cake was okay, but guess not.
Have a good evening, Father.
God be with you. Hell won't.
You make your way down towards where you know, well, not down, it's up actually. She has her office at the top of the tower. Climb your way up there, and it always fascinates you how, even without trying, a place like this always looks exactly like a place like this. Like it's just.
It is. It's amazing how we dedicate, well, not we really per se, but those still with a pulse, dedicate themselves to helping others and making them see the light and fight away the demons in the darkness, yet they house them in the most nightmarish looking building that they can find within city limits. I guess it's immersion therapy.
You approach the office, knock on the door. You hear Adelaide's voice. Come in, Alexander. Not that deep, but that's my voice. Nothing can do about it.
Like real deep. As he slides in.
Well, I don't see you for months, and then twice in a matter of a few nights.
You told me to investigate something. I'm always around when you have need of me. Are you saying
just like God?
Are you saying you need me more?
I'm saying that some of the people in this place would probably find it comforting if you were to come and speak with them. The soothing voice, the wisdom, the care of man of God always brings a lot of succor to troubled souls.
I will drive your patients to murder each other. You realize this, yes?
I know, and that's what I'm hoping, because we currently have way more patients than we have beds.
Oh, a favor for a favor. I happily said about that particular type of...
Excellent, we'll set it up. Now, have you found the murderer?
Well, not exactly, but there are some peculiarities that I have uncovered in my investigations that perhaps you might be able to help me with.
Entertain me, Father. What are these peculiarities, and what can I do about them?
So the Lasombra, predominantly, specifically the ones from out of town, have up and left the oratory. More importantly, upon their departure of the oratory, because I am still have solid belief in the shadows being responsible for killing our most dear member. But something else is peculiar in this search. Tell me, have you heard of the secret sharer?
I'm pretty certain that I've not heard of whatever it is you're referring to exactly. There is a psychological phenomena that has a very similar name. What exactly would you be referring to?
Quite literally that, something beyond us. Apparently, Gladius moved into the oratory, scared off all the shadows, and says that he's hunting someone, this secret sharer, and that this secret sharer is some sort of a corrupt entity that has attached itself to one of us.
My dear father, are you aware that the name The Secret Sharer comes from a story by Joseph Conrad about the captain of a ship who finds and rescues a man out at sea and finds him to be very similar to him. And as the two of them share a cabin, as he hides this other man, he himself starts to do stranger and darker things until they end up switching places, and the captain finds himself out at sea, and this secret share ends up being under control of the boat.
Yes. I'm telling you what I found.
The term that we use that is similar to this in psychology does apply to certain types of...
Your Grace,
Yes.
with all due respect, I do not believe this is a mental psychosis or anything along those lines. I do believe it is a matter of faith and those of our kind, not of a damaged brain that you can't shove a needle in and scramble up to fix.
Be that as it may, the point remains that you are bringing this to me now as part of this investigation that I've asked you to undertake, and so it should bear some relevance to the situation at hand. Now, what is it exactly you want me to tell you about this? Are you wanting me to speculate on whether or not there is such a thing as a supernatural entity that attaches itself to you and
No.
a parasite-like forces you to do strange things?
No. No, what I'm saying is that the one responsible for the death of the nun may be a little harder to find if such an entity exists. Because at this point, it would be almost impossible for us to not have already sought and found who was responsible for her ending, if it wasn't something that was beyond us. And I think Gladius knows exactly what it is.
Father, are you telling me that some demon killed the Grey Nun?
I don't know how to put this to you in a way that won't sound uncouth or simply insulting. You are a 100-year-old blood-sucking creature of the night who survives off the blood of the innocents, and you're going to question a demon existing?
I just think that you and I probably have very different definition of what a demon is.
This thing is probably physical. It's probably dwelling within one of us right now, trying to feed us lies, to subvert us, to hide amongst us.
My dear Alexander, what you're describing is the thing that afflicts all of us, the beast.
No. What I have uncovered is not a beast. It is something older.
Father Dubois, you're a Malkavian, I'm a Malkavian, and I don't understand what you're saying to me. But I'm willing to trust you that this is important and that this is actually a clue or a step forward in the investigation. But I would like you to find out a little bit more, because right now the things you are telling me are the kind of things we put people in here for.
Mortals. You put mortals in here.
But
We
these-
are beyond them.
These La Sombras that you say participated in the undoing of the Grey Nun are connected to your church, are they not?
The church is a rather large organization. That would, drawing that kind of a conclusion, would say that any member of the Camarilla who exists and is tied to the church would in turn be tied to the Sabbat,
Yep.
which is not the case, as you very well know. So that is a very thin thread that you're trying to draw there.
Father, you have hopped on the bus, driven it across the bridge to the South Shore, hopped
Yes.
on the metro, returned back on the island, hopped on the other bus only to arrive back here again, and by this I mean you have taken the longest possible detour to arrive right back where you started and to try and change the sense of what I was telling you. All I was suggesting was that since they are, like you, members of the Catholic Church, would it not be easy for you to get access to them and ascertain whether any of them have diablerie marks in their auras?
I can't see that.
Well, find someone who can.
That may cause me to go outside of our own.
Well, everyone should be determined to find a diabolist. There's a threat to us all.
We harbor diabolists within our city.
Yeah, but those are our diabolists. We don't want the ones that killed our esteemed Grey Mother to be simply gallivanting around town, do we?
I want to know what happens if I discover that it is one of our own. And by that, I mean one of our esteemed allies or colleagues.
Father Dubois, I'm sure you know as well as I do the importance and the value the Grey Nun had for this city and for our clan. Ever since the loss of Monica, we have been rather thin on the ground, and now with the loss of the Grey Nun on top of that, I'm very much afraid that we are going to become a footnote. We spoke about this the other day. I would like us to find a way to regain some of the prestige and importance our blood had in this city. And I believe that doing so begins with us bringing to justice whomever committed this unspeakable act. If these people you suspect, these La Sombras, are members of your church, you should be readily able to find them and ascertain whether or not they did it. If they did or did not, or whether this secret sharer or this demon or whatever it is responsible for it, then we need to take care of that also. The faster and the more thoroughly we take care of it, the more we will have to gain with the rest of the city. And so, my dear father, I would like you to do your job, and if you need something from me to help you do that, please speak it plainly that I may give it to you, and you may go about your business of sorting out this nest of vipers that is currently entangled around our feet.
You're seeking political gain over the death of one of our own? You should be ashamed.
I'll say 7 Hail Marys, Father. Does that make it better?
Do not mock that which keeps you alive. Tell me! Did you get any of the information I asked you for? The little red books. Why? Because the Grey Nun had one. And now I have it. And I find all kinds of interesting things in there.
And how many more of these red books do you say are scattered about town?
Well, sans the one in my possession, 6. And your illustrious prince is in possession of one of them.
She opens the drawer of her desk and she pulls out a business card. I did find this. She hands it to you.
Oh, what is this?
It is a business card for a bookstore called The Red Book, a rare and occult bookshop in the underground of Montreal.
A little on the nose, don't you think?
Well, I'm a Malkavian and I run a mental health hospital, so...
Yes, you do something of that particular nature. Regardless, you have the ability to look in places that I do not.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, be it as a whip or something else, my power only goes so far, so I do need you to ask some questions, and I do need you to exercise that political gain that you so desperately seek, and let your pride show once more, and find out some things for me.
She, once again, reaches into her desk and pulls out a pad of paper, puts a pen to it, hands it over. The pad of paper is Hello Kitty. The pen has a little Hello Kitty head to it, attached to it.
I don't have this one.
You can keep it.
Oh, thank you.
Write down everything you want me to find out. In English and not in some sort of Sanskrit. Or French or German. I can handle those also.
You never finished your studies, and it shows. And he does, he jots out, basically, he jots out who all is in possession, who all within the hires is in possession of one of these red books. And more importantly, he writes out, and why did the Grey Nun know blood sorcery, the witch's craft?
She arches an eyebrow at this.
I'll let you study that one.
My. You did bury the lead, didn't you?
Well, you see, when you take the bus and then over the bridge and down the road to grandmother's house, you'll get the whole story. So I say again, what happens if the one that consumed her is one of our colleagues, our allies? You wish, in our current turbulent time within our oh so beautifully decrepit city, to start a war with the witches? Because you know they won't own up to it, and yet their blood is stained with diablerie.
Well, let me ask you this, Father.
Yes.
And meanwhile, cross down. Speaking of the witches, it has been a few nights, Elise, since you had the event with the tarot cards. You've been patiently waiting on Fletcher, who's been working on this ritual of his that he's been trying to prepare for your little plan. How does Elise occupy her nights when there's no immediate requirements on her? What does she do? What does an evening chez Elise look like?
I'd say lately she's been busying herself with setting up Faraday's room. That's kind of taken a priority for her after her and Fletcher had spoke about that. And he had mentioned bringing Arkham in, but she really didn't like that and kind of brushed it away. And I think she's had the ladies helping her as well. And they've been in there cleaning and bringing out all of his artwork and hanging it on the walls. I imagine she's gone through some of his things, but she's really just busied herself with fixing up this room and just trying to remember and celebrate who Faraday was.
And as you've been doing that and sort of revisiting a little bit the past here and there and kind of, sorting out your feelings about that, you realize that it's been a year of painful losses. You think back to your tarot reading and the changes, drastic changes that the reading hinted at. The question of whether or not the hangman would be a willing sacrifice or a needless sacrifice, realizing that sacrifice is part of the equation somehow. There's a lot of unknowns, and you know that Fletcher's plan is a very dangerous one and could be a beautiful thing if it comes true, but there's a lot of danger at hand. How is Elise feeling about that notion of that great change requiring sacrifice, and that the cards having kind of hinted that it might be her? Is this something that Elise fears? Is this something that... How is Elise just sort of thinking about that? What's on her mind about that?
I believe that Elise is old enough to realize that any sort of great change requires at least a modicum of sacrifice. But the thing that would sit truly heavy on her head is that Tower card, that card of change, because it's not a planned change. That card to her represents a great upheaval. The two figures falling from the tower can't see what they're doing or where they're going. It's the conscious and the subconscious being flung. And that scares her. For as much as they can plan all of these little things they can set in order and prepare for, she knows that there's something over the horizon that no amount of planning or preparing can ready the two of them for, and that scares her.
And as you're thinking about that, very specifically, as you're thinking about that idea of that change and that fear and that unplanned, perhaps, the unplanned obstacles or change that may occur, you find something. A letter in Faraday's stuff as you're moving certain things around. It's addressed to you. Simply says Elise on it. The paper is some kind of old brown craft paper. There's a seal in wax. It hasn't been broken. You've been through this room dozens of times. If you've never seen this letter. But it's there right now, staring you in the face.
She reaches towards Faraday's desk and she retrieves a little letter opener. She smiles at it. It was a gift from her to him. It's a little sword, and she uses it to slice open the letter.
As you go to open it, you notice the wax seal has, as an emblem in it, what looks like a fleur-de-lis.
This gives her pause for a minute. She thinks back to the bookstore, to the computer when she saw that symbol last. I would actually like to use a power, if I may.
Sure. Please go ahead. And you've got about 700 million night moves.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to use one of those.
Because our chat, a bunch of fucking heroes, just tossing them out there. We're gonna have to do something about the XP stuff, because I can't let everyone have 20 XP just for shits and giggles. So we will we'll see what we do with that. Yeah, the hails can be used. They're a way to give people a little boost for free, because we're not just assholes. What is the power you wish to use?
Yeah, so she takes the little sword letter opener, she pops that seal, but then she takes a pause to look at it, and she'll run her fingers over the wax and over the envelope itself, and she's going to use Spirit's Touch. By touching an inanimate object or the ground at a location, the vampire can sense the emotional residue left by those who have handled that object or visited the location in the past. The user gains insight into not only that person, but also what was done and under what circumstances. While rarely crystal clear, the information often provides leads impossible to gain from regular forensics and deduction. So I do have to make a rouse check for this.
Oh, we love those.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, could everybody else make a rouse check also?
Hey, wow, it's a success. We're starting off good, guys.
Okay, but you have to do another one because you would have had to do one to wake up. And so...
That seems a bit rude.
Call Jason
Hey,
Carl.
it's another success.
Nice.
I'm a lucky gal tonight.
Anytime you want to complain about the rules, call Jason Carl.
All right. I am going to add a night move to that, so I'll get 2 additional regular dice if I remember correctly.
Yes, exactly.
And let's let it roll. Wowies, that's 11 successes, and there is certainly a crit in there.
Well, let's take a look at it because it might be.
There's no
critical.
bestial failure, so don't you worry, bud.
So here's the thing. So that's a lot of successes, and I want to honor that.
Mhm.
Originally, as you were getting ready to do that, I knew what the answer was going to be either way. The answer was going to be that you feel absolutely nothing. It's as if this thing materialized out of nowhere. And
Okay.
that's the first impression you get. This thing literally materialized out of nowhere. It's not been handled. No one touched this. It didn't exist 5 minutes ago. That being said, because you had so many successes and you did spend a night move on it, I will tell you that as you extend your power and reach out into this thing and realize that, you know, it's cut off, like, you know, it materialized out of nowhere. It didn't exist before. You feel something else behind it, and you feel that it's like someone or something teasing you, playing with you. Like they could have just walked away and let you not know anything, but then they kind of caught sight of you being so well versed in the arts of psychometry that you really, like, you know, you got 11 successes, and that piqued their curiosity, and you feel that there's a presence lingering somewhere off behind it, and you get, for a few moments, the smell of lavender.
In this moment, can I use my sense the unseen?
Yeah.
Would you like me to read that one?
No, it's okay. I have it open here. No, you're good.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I don't think. No, I don't have any
it's
night
free.
moves, so
It's
we're
no one
good.
else check on that one.
Yeah, it's just my. I was gonna use a
Wits
night
plus
move, but they
aspect.
rolled over. So.
Or resolve plus aspect.
Wait. Is that the one I wanted to use? No, I'm stupid. Hold on. That's 3 successes.
You feel there's no one in the room with you, but you feel the touch of magic on this letter, and it's a type of magic that you don't know, or that you can't identify. And the only time you felt that particular impression was when you had that vision where you saw the red room and heard the voice of Kalome speak to you. And when you think of that, you remember that it smelled like lavender at that point also.
She's gonna open the letter and read it.
You open the letter. It says, "Dear Elise, you are cordially invited to attend our monthly high ritual to be held at 1755 Rue des Anges in Saint-Sauveur on the 19th of September at midnight. This is a semi-formal event." At the bottom is a strange symbol with a black fleur-de-lis, some triangles, and
she's going to stand and go find Fletcher.
you find him, as always, in his laboratory or office these days, poring over papers, drawing things. He seems to be nearing the end of his research stage because he started drawing out the tattoos that he's going to be using for this particular ritual. And as you come in, he's putting away stuff. He's putting away his pens and whatnot, and he's rolling up papers. He's like, or is it going to come and get you? What's wrong? You have that look on your face.
She slinks into his room, sits on his desk. Like a typical house cat, it's on some of his papers there. And kind of pushes the letter across the desk towards him.
Seems as though I have an invitation to a party.
Did you sense this already? I assume you have.
Well, it just sort of appeared out of thin air while I was searching through Faraday's room. Funny, isn't it? How things just appear to me.
Well,
Does this place mean anything to you, darling?
no, but discovered this incredible magical artifact that allows you to find these things, and he pulls out his cell phone and he taps into it the address, and he's like, looks like it's in Saint-Sauveur, which is just about 45 minutes north of it. It's fairly well off ski resort area.
I really wish you wouldn't use that thing in such close proximity to me.
Is that? That's why this thing never works correctly.
It gives me the most horrible headaches.
No, I try not to, darling, but I was wondering what this thing was. I'll put it away. He puts it away and he goes over to a little cupboard. He opens it and he pulls out a bunch of papers, and he's like, here, and he pulls out a map of the area and he opens it and he shows you it's around here somewhere, up on the side of this mountain. It's not on the map, but from what I saw, it's over here.
And what did you say it was? I couldn't hear you for all of that. But I was hearing in my brain while you had that horrible machine out.
Like feedback when you're at the rock show and you put the mic too close to the speaker.
Exactly.
The Saint-Sauveur, it's a small, fairly well off ski resort town, just about 45 minutes north of here, in the mountain here. That's Saint-Sauveur Mountain, where the ski resort is. And that address, what I saw on the other map, was somewhere around here. That's werewolf country.
Oh, well, that makes plenty of sense, because I'm pretty sure my little letter here is from our friend Colome. I smelt lavender on it. I smelt lavender when I spoke to her last, too.
She's toying with you. From what Jeanne says of her inspection of this little Ventru that witnessed the end of the esteemed Galen Redpath Venture Primogen, it appears that it was human magic that killed him or abducted him, whatever the hell happened to him. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I haven't told you much about human magic, have I?
I don't believe you have.
We'll have to rectify that. But the date is a few nights off. We have some time to think about it. I was rather thinking that we would take the opportunity to step out tonight. I have to go and pick up some things that I've ordered that I need for this ritual. I was thinking we could maybe go out for once and go and visit this place and sure you'll find a book or two of some interest to you there. And then,
Are you
just
taking me on a date, Fletcher?
It's been a while. It's been at least a decade.
I think it's about due.
I'm not sure exactly where we'll end up or what we'll do, but I thought we'd just get direction and start walking and see what occurs to us. I would like to go and pick up these books that I ordered that have arrived, but aside from that,
A bookstore?
it's a place called the Red Book.
Oh, I've been there.
Have you?
I have.
In the underground, is it?
It is.
Oh.
I went there with Desi. That damn train, it's always bothering me when I'm trying to talk to you.
I know, I was wondering why this house was so cheap when we bought it, and now we know.
Yes, Desi took me there. A little human fella who quite admires him works there. Perhaps
Yeah.
he'll be there.
What did become of Desmond? We haven't seen him, I feel, for some time. I haven't seen him for some time.
I know, I'm not quite sure. I do miss him.
Well, if he's friendly with this shop owner, perhaps we'll run into him tonight.
That would be nice. See a familiar face.
Why don't you go and put something nice and gothy on, and we'll get a car to come around and we'll go out.
Sounds fabulous.
And let's keep this safe for now. And he takes the envelope and puts it in the safe, although I don't think it's going to matter too much, and closes it.
Hmm.
Are you...
Could disappear just as easily as it appeared.
Which I assume it will. Are you feeling any nervousness about it or any jitters?
No, I suppose I'm just going with the flow for now. It's silly to anticipate all the horrible things that could happen to us. I'd lose my mind, really, if I dawdled on it too long.
Yeah. Well, I know just the thing, whilst we're getting ready to ease our minds, and he goes over to the record player and he pulls out a Misfits record, places it on the turntable, puts the needle on.
Well,
The sweet, sweet sound of Glenn Danzig's voice fills the Premier Manor.
it's no Chopin, but it'll do.
She kind of flits out of the room.
And on that, Burn, over yonder, Maud, you have arrived at your sire's home. You've been relaxing. He got out some quite excellent whiskey and whatever. I kind of assume Maud drinks whiskey, but what does Maud drink? I shouldn't assume.
I think she drinks whiskey with him when he offers it. I think she likes the aesthetic of wine, though.
There's wine if you want it, but you have a drink, calm down a little bit from the events of earlier. At some point he comes in, he's taken off his jacket and taken off his tie, and he just kneels on the floor next to where you're sitting, and he takes a sip of his whiskey and he says, Galen and I came here in the 70s. We saw opportunity here when they passed those laws, Bill 101, that restricted the use of English, and a lot of the companies left. We saw a vacuum and we came in, and we felt like this was a place of opportunity where we could kind of reestablish a little bit the name of Clan Ventru and a little bit of a prestige that we've lost in the last few decades. But when we got here, we came across shady organization, the Lys Noire, the Black Lily. There's some sort of cabal mortals, as far as we can tell, and they've controlled this city and the province since the 18th century. Here's the thing about them that you need to understand, Maud. They're rich and influential, but they don't do it for money or power. That's just the dividend. It's some sort of crazy social experiment that they've been running since like 1750 or something. They've been learning how to control the flow of history and social evolution through careful manipulation. They're essentially learning how to do what we kindred have been doing for centuries and for millennia.
As mortals.
As mortals.
But they... I through generations, or...
It's not 100% clear to us how they handle that, if it's handed from generation to generation, or if it's an invitation thing, or if it's... We don't know. We don't even know who the people are. They are that well hidden, even as mortals, that the second we found someone that we thought for sure was part of it, they're gone, they're dead, they disappear, we never see them again, or we get proof that they're not.
Who have you been communicating with then?
This is where it gets interesting.
Uh-huh. I'm listening.
Before we were here, in the 70s, the Sabbat owned this place. They ran this place for a very long time, but because they're brutal, mindless creatures, they never realized that this group was operating. They're very subtle. When we came in and helped take the city from the Sabbat, we had to deal with them. At first, contact was always done through cutoffs, through low-level helpers. It took a while for us to even really take them seriously, but eventually we did, and I'll get to something in a moment. We eventually struck a deal with them. There's certain spheres that we weren't allowed to touch, mostly in terms of laws and politics, which is where most of their influences are, but they left us do pretty much whatever we wanted business-wise. That's why, even though our clan usually has involvement in politics, we stayed away from it and we focused entirely on business. What we ended up finding out was that there was someone in the Sabbat who had been aware of them, and that was their cardinal, Annabelle.
Okay.
And that she was in Quebec City, and that they were running politics for the province from there. And that she was involved, even as the Cardinal of the Sabbat, what you'd think. But there was something else going on. We had to deal with her.
Okay.
We had deals with her. I traveled to Quebec City often. I know there were rumors and people talking, thinking that there was something hinky about it, but it wasn't that I had any interest in joining the Sabbat whatsoever. It was really just that we had to deal with her because she controlled the politics in the province because of her connection with the Fleur de Lis, the Black Lily.
Yes.
And we controlled the business, so we constantly had this back and forth, and we had to constantly be dealing with one another, and it was a game of give and take.
So, if I may interrupt for a minute, you are saying that you've just been holding negotiations with her on behalf of her stakes in the political aspects of Montreal.
Yeah.
And as Sabbat, we have developed a trust with her or something.
Oh no.
To that?
No, not remotely. From the beginning, Galen especially was a little bit suspicious about all of it and didn't feel very comfortable about that. And in recent months and years, he started really pushing for us to break our contact with them, especially after the Sabbat fell apart and Annabelle disappeared. We no longer had a connection to the political sphere.
She disappeared.
She disappeared only to reappear here. But now they killed Galen.
Yes.
And that's why they messed with you. The change of laws regarding your business, it was a warning. Remember, we were trying to warn you off. We were telling you to just leave it be, to change, go to something else.
Yes, I see that, but I don't understand why a warning to me for what reason.
That was a warning to us.
To you.
To us.
Oh.
And we didn't heed it, and you pushed it, and you continued pushing it, and you went to meet with that woman at City Hall.
Yes,
they
because that's
killed
what I was
Galen.
asked to do.
And they killed Galen.
No, Thomas.
I'm not holding you responsible for it. You didn't know. That's what I'm saying. You didn't know. But I'm telling you, they may be mortals, they may be humans, but they have incredible reach, and now, if on top of that, they have access to mages, we're all in a lot more trouble than we thought.
See that information is particularly new to me. Mages. Something Jean mentioned, the mages, and I kept a straight face, but that's the first I'm hearing of that.
I know nothing about that stuff. I just know what I've been told, which is that they are dangerous, even to us.
Well, I can understand that if that was perhaps the cause of what folded Redpath's car, but
Messing with you was a warning, and when we didn't heed it, they killed him. And now the next logical person to come after is going to be me.
So you're afraid?
I am.
I will say, because I've heard the discussion, the words behave that were displayed so prominently, I do believe that those were meant for me. Specifically, being that it was repeated during this phone call with Annabelle. She said it once more.
She's connected to them. Still. Working with them. And now she's trying to take over the clan, which now she's going to have an opportunity to do. Wait a minute, what phone call with Annabelle? Did you tell him that about the phone call with Annabelle last time?
Did I tell him about it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I did. Before the mind wipe, and that was something that you expressed that I kept.
She's already trying to get control of the clan. It looks like they're going to try to. She's lost. Well, it makes sense. The Sabbat has fallen apart. She's lost her army. She's lost her people. So
this too, I believe I recall during that phone call, she mentioned she mentioned she wanted the chair, the Primogen spot, and she was happy to have you as the seneschal, as a means of grabbing more power. So I don't know if
that's the message.
I don't know if
what did she offer you?
Me? She honestly, nothing more than to assist her effectively.
So basically the same thing you're doing now.
Which I'm not I don't feel particularly useful as far as this conversation has gone. I've just been in the way.
That's the thing, Maud. These people have plans within plans within plans within plans. They have means of predicting what is going to happen. They have means of knowing what is important amongst details that other people overlook. So if they saved you from... They specifically made a decision not to kill you with Galen. They specifically told you to behave twice. And yet they're not offering you anything. They know something that we don't about you.
About me? I think they just think me a pawn.
Let me tell you another story. Let me tell you about a Malkavian named Monica Blue.
Malkavian should be interesting. Go on.
Speaking of Malkavians.
Don't you fucking tease me with a lore drop.
You know how these things go. And I know I left you on a cliffhanger of her about to ask you a question, and I don't remember what that question was, so we're kind of up Schitt's Creek without ladder at this point.
I'm going to the Red Book.
There was something that I wanted her to say, but I completely forgot what I was. I should write notes to myself.
And we reconvene with the door closing behind me and him a little red in the face, looking at a card.
Yeah, so she handed you that card. It was something to do with the Red Book. It'll come back to me, and as soon as it does, I will tell you. But so she hands you that card, and I don't know, she says, what any of these red books have to do with anything, but you seem to think that they're important, and I will agree that you have a sense for connecting things. Maybe it's because you're so used to making connections on the public transit, but you have a talent for it. And then maybe your classical upbringing and your parochial school education that makes you so good at, reading signs and portents.
I want to know why one of our clan knows how and documented their mastery of blood sorcery.
And as you say that, I remember what the question was that I was going to ask you. So she says, as you ask that, she says, well, I don't know. I had no clue that she knew this. So that'll be interesting to find out. You say you have a book of hers, maybe the secret's in there. My question to you is this, Alexander. What do you think we should do with whoever is responsible for this?
I think that whoever it is one of two things. Either they are going to be a very powerful ally that we should probably not ignore, and more importantly, not get in their way. Because let's face it, she wasn't exactly meek in the blood. Or it is possibly the greatest threat to the entirety of the city, and we should definitely not be in the path of the devil.
I will say this. The Grey Nun was old and wily. Whoever did this to her did not approach her by force. So it will have been someone that she knew and trusted.
You know she wanted to die, right?
I had a feeling.
We had such long conversations about her wishing to walk into the light, believing that that would take her to the next place, the next plane of existence, I guess. I don't know. The closest thing to heaven that we can achieve.
Do you really believe in that? I've always wondered, Alexander, to what degree is your faith real? And to what degree is it madness? And to what degree is it an act?
Oh, my faith is very real. I just very much understand my role in faith. You see, you've got it convinced 100% that you're still one of them, but you're not. You're a monster. You're here to ensure that they have faith, that in those final moments before we extinguish the precious little thread of life that exists within them, they're begging, pleading, praying to God, their faith restored, and thus to the pearly gates they go. Ours is not to question belief in God. Ours is just to arrange the meeting. And I do that very well.
And for my part, Alexander, two things. One, I am very much aware that I am a monster. Why do you think I live here? It is because
you're
it is the
bored?
only place that I feel at home and not different.
Okay.
Two, I am a firm believer that, as Milton said, the mind itself is strong enough to make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. And it is all within our minds to do that. And that is where heaven and hell exist. And it is all about how we perceive our surroundings and what we choose to do about them. Everything is in there, Alex. Everything. And what makes us so special as children of Malkath is that we have an opening onto a whole other world that those poor other suckers don't have. And what we see and know is so frightening to them that they label us insane, rather than realize that, as opposed to God or whomever else, we are the true prophets. I believe that you and I have the same message, Alex. We simply have a different vernacular.
Well, I read the texts. You don't.
She
You
used
read
gestures to all her books on psychology.
He just is like, not textbooks. The texts of Lilith, of Cain, of our divine creation.
Are you still
Why
on your
we were
Lilith
put
kick?
here. It's not a kick.
You know it's apocryphal, right? You know that there's nothing real about it.
There's nothing real about the made-up and imaginary diseases that you claim plague the human mind, when in fact it's just a tortured soul. We can go rounds and rounds and rounds about this, for eternity if we want.
It would be fun.
I mean, for a while, yes, but then after a bit I would get bored and, I don't know.
Try to eat my face.
No, I'd like your face. I might eat your ass, but I don't think I'd eat your face.
You know that doesn't work with me, Alex.
Yeah, I know. The word gets around, kind of frigid. Anyway, Toodles, go with God. Hail Payman.
Or are you off?
And I'm going to go follow this, and he holds up the card. Red Book.
Don't set
Sounds like
fire to anything. It's a good
No,
place.
it sounds like... I'm sure it is. It sounds like a late-night Skinamax show. Anyway, this is the information that I have for you. I believe that you are wrong, but, you know, that's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. You're in a position of ability to be wrong. I'm going to go continue being right.
Will you be talking to those La Sombras? At least investigating that, or are you dropping that?
Sure.
completely?
No. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to talk to them in great detail. And, you know, maybe have one for dinner.
What do you think Jesus thinks of you, Father? Or do you think he thinks of you at all?
If he does think of me, he probably thinks, wow, that man's dedicated to his work.
Maybe he touches himself.
Inappropriately, I hope. You know, with the hole in the hand. Anyway.
You are the most blasphemous priest I've ever met.
Thank you.
As you shuffle off to Buffalo out of her office, Elise, are you with us? You have traveled back into the underground, a place you haven't been to in a while. You approach the store that you visited that one time with, as you said, Desmond. Back when Desmond was... First night you'd met Desmond, I believe, was here. You step through the doorway of the Red Book, and the musty scent of old paper and wax and something metallic, blood maybe, clings to the air. Dim light from old filament light bulbs cast long shadows across rows of sagging bookshelves, each one packed with cracked leather-bound grimoires, alchemical treatises, and forbidden texts bound in strange, unidentifiable skins. The store is silent, but not still. The bell above the door doesn't ring. It's hanging by a single wire, twisted and broken. Books lie strewn across the floor, their pages fluttering in a slow, ghostly rhythm. One shelf has collapsed entirely, crushing a display of ritual daggers and scattering shards of obsidians and bone across the floor. A velvet curtained alcove at the back is torn open, revealing a hidden nook where clients might have inspected their strange and occult purchases in private. The chair is overturned, the table littered with sheaves of paper. Blood, fresh enough to gleam wetly, smears the banister and streaks the floor in erratic tails. Another chair is overturned, one leg broken near the register, and the glass display is cracked. The air hums faintly with the residue of something arcane, something violent. Something strange permeates the space, and it raises the hairs on your skin. No one is here, but someone was. And whatever happened here, it didn't end cleanly.
Elise is tiptoeing carefully through the store, soaking in the surroundings, the mess, the blood. Is there a body, or does she just see blood as she walks through?
You just see blood here and there. Not a lot of it, but not enough to make you too worried, but enough to indicate that there's been some kind of struggle here. Fletcher is moving through also, but he seems a bit less intent with what happened here, and he's kind of beelining towards the back where you can see several lockers, and he pulls a key from around his neck, and he inserts it in one, and he opens it, and he goes, "Oh, well, thank God for small favors," and he pulls out a couple of scrolls and a book from there.
The first thing that Elise is going to do is she's going to crouch down by some of that blood and dip a finger into it.
I didn't know that this was going to be a dinner date.
And she tastes the blood on her finger. And I'm going to use my blood sorcery for a taste of blood, which basically just discerns basic traits of whoever it belongs to. And it's free of cost. We love a freebie.
I believe you have to make a roll. The wits and aspects or resolve and aspects.
Yeah, I do have to make a blood sorcery roll. I am going to add a night move to this.
Sounds like
That
a plan.
is 5 successes.
Okay, 5 successes. I'm going to need you to go ahead and roll me. Do you have a D4 handy?
I can very quickly.
All right, so roll me a D4.
All right. That is a 1.
Excellent. The blood that you taste is human blood.
Okay.
As you taste it, there's nothing about it that's too strange. It is just human blood. It's not even a ghoul. It's not anything like that. However, what would you get from that? I would say the blood is very intense. It is very charged. And I will say, because of the number of successes you've had, it is blood that has been touched at some point by some kind of magic, but no longer. And it's a magic that tastes foul and dark.
She crouches.
I just want to give you one more detail. I
Yeah,
do want
of
to. I
course.
do want to indicate that you do smell kindred blood in the area. So this was human blood, so we rolled a d4. But you do
Okay.
smell kindred blood also in the air, just so you know.
Okay. She begins crouching further down until she is pressed against the floor with one ear. I would feel like Fletcher has probably seen her do this before. Her hands are splayed out on either side of her, and it's almost as if she's listening to the room. And I'm going to use Spirit's Touch again. And this one does require a rouse check, so I'm 2 for 2 tonight so far. Let's see how this goes. Wow, that's another success. Look at me go. I am powerful. I thwart you, evil one, evil storyteller.
For now.
For now. And I'm going to go ahead and use another one of my night moves on this roll.
You're going to have a slightly higher difficulty than normal, so you need to get a few successes, just so you know.
Yeah, would you like to know how many dice I rolled before I tell you my number of successes?
Yeah, because I have a feeling it's going to be good.
I rolled 12 dice. Yeah, I'm powerful in this one, okay? I got 2 fucking successes. That's so rough.
There is something that is impeding you. There is something that is preventing you from fully going where you need to go for this. Now, you can spend, after you roll, you can spend 2 night moves to get 2 extra dice to roll.
I believe I only have 1 left. Oh, no, I have 2 still. So I can spend those 2 and get 2 more dice?
2 more dice that you can roll.
Okay, we'll do that.
Well,
Sheesh.
you know, that's because those odds, Varl, but that's because Creep's been defying the odds by winning all her rouse checks so far, so, you know.
I know, I gotta fuck something up, huh? And I got an 11 success on this roll last time, so, you know. Oh, how the mighty fall. That's still 2 successes.
Total?
total.
You find
so
that there's something that's blocking you, that's preventing you from accessing. Now, because you have 2 successes, I'll give you some details, but you're not getting the full picture.
okay.
You will get the knowledge that there was a kind of fight here. There were 4 people involved. 3 of them were kindred. 2 of them took the two winners took the 2 losers away from here. I'll also tell you that spirits were involved.
Okay. I'm sorry, repeat the first part again. My apologies.
There were 4 people involved in
4
this fight.
people.
There were 2 winners, 2 losers. The 2 winners took the 2 losers
Okay.
with them, and there were spirits involved.
All right. I think Fletcher just hears a...
What's the matter, though? He's got his nose in these books that he's like checking out. These will do great. What's the matter, darling? Not getting what you want?
I can't see it. Not sure what's blocking me, but I can't see it.
Have you tried reaching beyond this particular building in the area?
Of course I could do that. Sometimes I like to listen to the room first. I just don't like that the room's not telling me anything.
Hold on. And he looks around the room, and you figure he's using Sense the Unseen. He's like, well, that would explain it, dear. This place is full of angry spirits right now, and they're staring at us, and they're very unhappy.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Are they saying anything?
No, I'm not talking to them. They seem very angry.
Okay, well, give me a moment.
And she's going to climb on top of a desk and sit crisscross applesauce on this desk, and she kind of gives a cursory glance to the room, everything going on inside of it, and she's going to close her eyes and begin to steady her breathing, much like she did with her reading days before, and slowly bring herself into a trance in this room. And I will use clairvoyance at this point.
Arouse check.
Yeah, I know. God, you love saying that. That one is not a success. Don't worry, Blake. I'm only at 2, so calm yourself.
Thank you, Bradley. Bradley just bequeathed you a whole bunch of other. You got 5 more advantages.
Yeah. Thanks, Bradley. I appreciate that. I'm going to use one of those right now on this insanely amount of dice I get to roll anyways. Just for fun, and maybe so I don't fuck it up. That's 6 successes.
You feel the presence of the spirits all the way around in this room and outside of it also. You start seeing events as they sort of happen. You see Desmond here in sort of spiritual form. You see the young man who owns this shop, Tristan, they're in the back talking. You see a sudden spike of emotion in Desmond. Confusion. Anger. Something very, very powerful just happened to him, where he's just been told something that really had a huge impact on him. At that moment, you see 2 other people come in. Their emotional resonance is anticipation, anger, violence. They come into the store. The spirits are coming with them. You catch a glimpse of them, a man and a woman. You can't tell much more about them, but the man is covered in tattoos. The woman has this long white hair. A fight breaks out, but just before it does, you hear an echo. You hear the man who broke in, who came in, say, Dario Accardi of Clan Cappadocian, for your crimes against the Giovanni, the Court of Bones sentences you to final death, and your spirit remain prisoner of the ossuary. And then they attack Desmond. There's a fight. Desmond is absolutely not able to fight them at all. So one of them breaks the chair that you saw near the thing, the leg, stakes him. They knock out the human. They grab both. With the assistance of the spirits, they've defeated them, and then they leave.
Darling.
And then, out of nowhere, for reasons you can't explain, you get a glimpse of Margot. You're reminded of Margot. You're reminded of something that she said, something that was of great importance to her. You're reminded of something that you lived through, and you get this notion that in one of the back rooms, there's something for you to see.
She slips off the desk with this very light cat-like grace and kind of skips over to the back room very quickly.
You find a private little office there. There's a closet. It's where you're being drawn. You reach it, open it, there's nothing in there. But at the bottom there is a plastic bin. And you reach out and you open the plastic bin. And meanwhile, back at the house with the Ventru.
You were saying?
Monica Blue was a Malkavian elder here in Montreal before you came. She and our prince, Corinne, had been lovers for years. And Galen and I set about establishing a new ruling body for the city. We felt that Van Horn would be suitable as a prince. We knew that Montreal's standing in the world as a city of arts, a city of good times, it was important to cultivate that. It was what set Montreal apart from the rest of the cities in Canada and even in the States. And so we felt that a Toreador prince would be what we needed. Corinne fit the bill. It was suitable, but there was a little problem. There was something very alien and malignant about Monica. And we could see that it was slowly infecting Van Horn. We contacted Berlin, and they sent us someone. They made Monica disappear. And then we were able to make Van Horn and the others believe that she'd follow the beckoning to Gehenna. After that, Van Horn seemed to return to herself to a certain degree. So we made a deal with the Malks and the Tremere, and we installed her as prince. With me as seneschal. We had the perfect setup, what we'd been working towards. But somehow, possibly through Ventru connections, Annabelle found out about this. And she's been lording it over us. She could turn all the other clients of the city against us if she wanted. So we have to be extremely careful in how we deal with her.
What exactly was happening with Van Horn and Monica?
Van Horn and Monica. Monica had this strange... If you met her, you would never be able to tell she was Malkavian. She seemed like the most normal, approachable, level-headed person you could ever meet.
I find that unbelievable, but okay.
It's true. It was startling. But she was so crazy that the other Malkavians were afraid of her. The kind of crazy that is alienating. That even in our own beastly nature, we couldn't understand the things that made her tick.
Okay.
And she was infecting Van Horn with it. Van Horn had started being obsessed with notions of decay and death, and...
You mean her current obsession?
Well, we thought it was gone. But
We
apparently it
thought.
was much more deeply buried, or it wasn't Monica's fault at all. That she was like that. Maybe she was like that to begin with, and we just misread the situation.
You know, I never quite understood why she was installed as prince if her entire direction for Montreal is to basically watch it crumble from the inside out.
Because we
Leaving
didn't
it
know
like
that
a
at the time. We
corpse.
thought it was Monica's influence. So we got rid of her.
And you didn't wait to see if...
We did. It seemed to have gotten better. The art she was producing, the things she was taking interest in were much more constructive, much more positive. We really thought that we'd cut out the malignancy.
Okay, so you say that they got rid of her. What exactly did they do to get rid of her? Confirmed final death, or...
That's what we were told. The person they sent us from Berlin was a professional, someone who does this for the clan on a global scale.
I see. It gives the impression that we were lied to.
Or not. We don't know. Maybe fucking Van Horn was this crazy before she even met Monica.
This is a pickle.
It is. Which is why.
Which is
my
why
dear
we need to
Maud,
change. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need your help.
Oh. It's not the first time. Certainly won't be the last.
He gets up from where he was kneeling and he sits down next to you. He sits on the sofa next to you. We started building something here and we can still finish it. We can still build it. We just have to make a few strategic changes to our operational plan.
Yes.
But the first thing we need to do is deal with Annabelle. If I'm reading correctly, for some odd reason, they believe that there's something about you that they need.
Yes. That's what we've established.
Now, do you have any idea what that might be?
Again, I seem to believe that they see me as some kind of pawn. Which, as far as destroying Red Path, I don't understand if we're all seen as pawns in this scheme why that would be the move, except to open the Permagency to insert Annabelle into it. Before I speak further on this, can I ask you something?
Sure.
And Bleak, I would like to activate Awe.
Oh, he's the one who can save us.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So tell me. Tell me about
Just, you know, no rouse check.
Nice.
I am incredible, more incredible than normal, which is difficult, but...
So start with that.
Thomas.
Hold on.
Huh? What?
You remember correctly.
Mhm.
You were also under the effect of Domitor's favor. And while I'm going to let you explain to me what it is you're trying to do with Awe before I decide if I would call upon you to make that extra roll that you need to make. Tell me what it is that you're trying to get out of Awe in this particular situation.
I am so eager to help Thomas with his situation and regaining control over the city. However, I do feel that I want to be seen as more equal. I am under a blood bond, but I'm under a blood bond because I see us as partners. I just want to ensure that the next things that I say to him are received in the best possible light.
I am going to require that you do an additional rouse check, as this is what Domitor's favor calls, because you are attempting to use a discipline that you know may very well cause him to act in a way different than if you hadn't used it.
Sure. I mean, I can't say that for sure. I know that he does appreciate me. I did fail, though. I said I did fail, though.
Ooh, what are you at now?
Oh, 4.
It's getting spicy.
It is spicy. It's always spicy. That's why we like the rouse checks, right?
Okay, so go ahead and say what you're going to say, and then I'll tell you if I feel you have to make a roll, okay?
Oh, wonderful, sure. I've distracted myself.
You said, may
I said Thomas.
Say or ask one thing I said. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thomas. With how we progress, I do believe that great change is needed. And I have felt a little kept out up until this point. Would you see me as equal as you have Red Path on this path forward?
I am going to have you make your awe roll. For that, because I have the feeling that his answer would be different. Whether or not the awe works. Now, I'm going to say he's not aware that you're using it, so he's not going to defend against it.
Because who would expect it? Can I? That's probably not a good idea.
Can you reroll? No.
No. But I will use a night move on this.
Add 2 more dice. If you're
Yes.
doing it after the fact, you have to spend 2.
Well, I have not rolled yet.
Okay.
So.
Remember
one.
that 4 of those dice now are hunger dice.
Yes, and that is why I am adding 2 to that. Let me just double check. Hold on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Okay. Okay, that worked out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 successes.
Five successes.
Mm-hmm. I did burn a night move
Yeah,
for all things.
he is going to say, I would be lying if I said that my answer might not have been different before Galen was killed or taken.
Mm-hmm.
But given the current circumstance, I of course feel that there is only one person in the city that I would consider my equal and a partner in any of these ventures. And that is you, of course. Thank you, Reflect Games, for the raid. Thank you for coming in. We're playing Vampire.
Well, I hope so. I'd hope that have been the way the whole time. I just feel if we were truly equal, I wouldn't have been left out of the plan so early, or at least informed as soon as I arrived.
The problem with informing you earlier was that we were trying to project a very specific image to all these strange people we were dealing with, that we were partners, but also to a certain degree fractious, that they might think there was something they could exploit. We felt that that particular lie would be better served if everyone thought that it was real, including our own people, were they to be questioned or investigated. We didn't tell you so that if you were asked, you wouldn't have to lie. But this is the important thing here, Maud.
Mm-hmm.
Life is all about opportunities.
Yes.
Life inside the Venture Clan is also about earning those opportunities. Doing what you're called on to do to the best of your abilities, even if it feels beneath you, so that the entire organization in progress.
Oh, Thomas, you know that both of us have done many things that we have felt beneath us to get to where we are. That's not what I'm against. And certainly not in the business that I have overseen and here in Montreal. I'm just asking that moving forward, there's no more of this.
Well, here's the thing, Maud. This thing you're asking for, I'm not going to give it to you on the silver platter, but I am going to tell you that it is right here in front of you, and that if you have what it takes to take it, then you can have it. But you wouldn't want me to just give it to you, would you? If I gave it to you, you would never feel as though we were equals, because I would have given it to you. I would have reached down and given it to you. But if you take it. So, question is, Pure Mod. Do you have what it takes to take it?
Of course I do.
It's fine and dandy to say that. But let's see if you'll actually do it.
It sounds like you don't have faith in me.
I do. I wonder if you have enough faith in you. The way I'm speaking to you now is exactly the way I would have spoken to Galen, if that helps anything.
I do appreciate that. No, I do think I'm capable.
Then show me. Make friends with Annabelle. Make sure she knows how dissatisfied you are with me and with your role in this series of events, how we've treated you. Make sure she believes that you are done with me and that you feel she has a better opportunity for you.
A favor for a favor.
Think you can do that?
Sure, a favor for a favor.
Good.
An eye for an eye, if you would, as equals. Are you looking to take over the Primogen seat?
I have no need nor desire for it. Once this is over, what we will need is a strong prince.
So you're looking for the prince spot.
Oh, I've already found him.
Wonderful. Then would
Sitting
you suggest
in front of
me...
you right now. I have been seneschal for a while. It is my duty to take over for the prince when the prince is no longer capable of doing their duties. So I think it's time we stop letting the lesser clans believe that they're holding the power and that we assume our rightful roles as Ventru and as leaders of the Camarilla.
Wonderful. So we are taking her out then. Then you would have no problem with me stepping into the Ventru Primogen spot.
Of course not.
Great. Fine, I will befriend Annabelle.
Good.
Good.
Will you be spending the night?
I think it's been a while since... Sure.
Meanwhile, Father Dubois. You are standing outside of the Red Book. You are watching the two Tremiers, Elise and Fletcher, rummaging around. You watch Elise crawl on the floor, climb on tables.
I think that he would please tell me this place has the little bell by the door.
I clearly said in the description, in the narration, that the bell does not work because it's broken and hanging by it.
Oh, right.
But you could always do it with your mouth. Ding, ding.
Like I think he does. He just walks in slowly, like straight up using unseen presence at this point, right? Just kind of being very quiet and just kind of like taking in everything before he says anything. And if he sees Elise moving on all fours, I see you're in your natural state.
Elise, you are staring as you open this box in front of you in the closet at a pile of red clothing, a mask of some sort, a red, what looks like a surgical gown, and you are reminded of a certain killer that Margot was running after, that you had met at the hotel that night. l'enfant terrible, as they call him. And as you pull out these bits and pieces of clothing, most of them covered in dried blood, you are taken right back to that night at the hotel with Fiona and Margot when you ran into him. When Margot beat him to death.
Oh no. I want to use a power, but I have to do a rouse check, and we're officially in fucking dangerous territory.
Well, you know,
Do it. Do it.
No pain, no gain.
Do it.
Yeah, I think she's transfixed by the clothing in this box and without thought reaches in and rubs the fabric between her fingers, and she's gonna use Spirit's Touch. Here we go, the faded rouse check.
You're seeing all this,
number
Father, by the
3.
way. You made your joke and you surprised Fletcher, but she doesn't react. She's obviously very focused on something.
Oh, ayo. That's a fail. So
what
as
happens?
she's standing here, rubbing this fabric and transfixed by what's inside of this box, you see the life literally begin to drain from her. Her skin becomes sunken and hollow and clings to her bone structure. She looks incredibly aged, suddenly ill. And she doesn't seem to notice as this is happening. And I'm going to go ahead and make the roll for this. I'm going to use a night move. And that is 9 successes.
Any of those messy crickles or anything like that?
No.
All right, so we'll get to the father and your reaction to that in a second. We'll just deal with the Spirit's Touch first. You touch this and you don't even feel and see your transformation. When you touch it, you see the young man who owned this shop donning this costume, putting it on. You see him going out at night. You see him doing horrible, terrible things. Kidnapping victims, torturing people, killing others. You get the sense that when he does that, he's not fully himself, but that he is aware and that he is a participant. And you don't see him targeting anyone that you know, and you don't see Margot in any of these impressions that you get. You do get the sense of a contract being fulfilled. And you see him put away this thing with a sense that of relief of that is the last time. And sort of putting it away.
Perhaps that would explain the fight.
She's just kind of mumbling to herself in there before she comes to and looks to her hands that's rubbing that fabric and realizes, I've done it again.
Dubois, what's your reaction now? You've seen this, you've seen her, but you've seen this before, right?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, you had
were
hidden.
locked away.
Yeah.
She was locked away.
Yeah, you couldn't see me.
Yeah. So he's just gonna be like, a bit peckish, are we?
It's you. What are you doing here?
Following a lead. Why are you here?
I was on a date.
You crop up at the strangest places, Father.
I'm here looking for shadows, yet I find witches. Interesting. Do you always ransack the place?
We found it this way, and you know that, of course, because you've been observing us for a while. I would wager you wouldn't have walked in here unless you had an idea what was going on. Tell me, Father, were you just coming to observe your handiwork, or were you here to purchase a book? They, unfortunately, I don't think sell Bibles and books of sermons here, so I'm a little concerned about what you're doing here. If these are sinful books about esoteric matters, things that are unnatural and against God, you wouldn't be dabbling in any of that, would you, Father?
No, but it is kind of, well, interesting that I find you two here, given the information of which I have received.
You find it interesting that two wizards would be in an occult bookshop. Is that what you just said to me, Father?
And you're not wizards. You play at it. Anyway, he leans like against the. He like leans back against like the like I guess like the checkout counter or whatever. Right. Here's the deal, Fletcher. I'm going to make you a deal because honestly, this is just too good to fucking pass up. To be perfectly honest, you're being hunted. You're like one of mine. One of the elders, has been consumed, and all evidence is pointing towards you. Not you specifically, just you as in the Tremere. So,
that one of us, you're saying, killed the Grey Nun, for whom I had the utmost respect. You know this, right? And as he's saying all this, he's moving towards you, Elise, and he's kind of
he's not even registering that Elise is there. He's just talking to Fletcher.
Yeah, he just moves towards you, Elise, and he takes that piece of cloth that's in your hand, and he slowly pulls it out of your hand, and he puts it in the thing, and then he, kind of wraps you in his arms, and he takes you to kind of shield you a little bit. Go ahead.
So, you do a little internal housekeeping, possibly offer up the sacrificial lamb, and we, the Malkavians, will vouch for your admittance.
So, if I get this correctly, you come in here, levy completely baseless accusations, and I have to go along with it, and if I do, you will make sure that other people know that you cleared me.
Yep, pretty much.
What are you looking
Piss off his tits.
Yes, he's a Malkavian, dear. What does this do for you? What do you honestly think that one of us did for the
It will
Grey Nun?
keep her still among us. And that's the most important thing.
You think that Elise did this?
No, I think that one of your clan did it. But I also think that basically having the bestie of the prince being offed and it all evidence, for lack of a better term, leading to Diabolarists, and you cannot deny that you do not descend from Diabolarists, well, doesn't bode well. Not to mention we found in her diary blood sorcery, the kind of which only witches practice. So, do we have a deal?
What the fuck are you talking about, Padre?
You know exactly what I'm talking about, Fletcher. Regent of the Tremere. You know exactly. Don't try and play stupid. We know. We have known. You see, one thing that's really interesting about all us lunatics is all our minds are connected to one another. It's kind of like a hive process. It's really interesting. We all kind of know what each other knows.
So what is it that you know exactly? That's what I'd like to know. You're saying you have some sort of proof, some sort of...
Well, we know that you're keeping things, and we know that you're in on it.
In on what?
The death of the Grey Nun. What else?
For crying out. Jesus. You're fucking insane. You know that, right?
Yes. Are we going to point out your character flaws as well? You look like you're dressed from 1993. We're past the millennium, son. Catch up.
I think while the two of you are like bickering back and forth, Elise has like kind of like slunk out of Fletcher's hold, and she is now on like all fours, sniffing around the ground, looking for the blood that wasn't the human blood she tasted. Just a heads up on what she's doing right now.
So I think,
like kind of like a bloodhound scenario.
I think
she's like, you see her like touching blood and like tasting and like, no, that's not it. That's Tristan's blood, and like just going through and looking for the other blood that she can certainly smell in this room.
I think that in the middle of their conversation, the two of them just kind of slow turn and look at you at the same time.
And you call me crazy.
She has no idea you're looking at her.
Oh yeah, and you called me crazy.
Give me a moment. Fletcher comes over to you. Elise is like, come here, darling. And he pulls you over and he offers you his wrist and he says,
No, I'm doing something. I'm looking for the blood of Desi and I need it. I need to know more about it.
Don't you want to slake your thirst first?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. I'm here. And he offers you his wrist again.
She drinks. She looks kind of like a petulant child when she does so.
Yeah, it's the petulant child who the father has finally said, like, look, if you want the dessert, you gotta have the pear, and now you're eating the pear very fucking reluctantly, right?
yeah, just sitting on the floor doing one of these to his wrist.
So he lets you...
I think Alexander's just standing there just like, oh my.
He lets you drink for a while, and because of the potency of his blood, you can erase 2 of your hunger.
Yay!
After a moment, he's like, I'm not gonna look. Just look over my shoulder and tell me if he's touching himself.
He's not, like, he is staring at the back of Fletcher's head like if he had lasers coming out of his eyes, he would be boring holes into it.
Oh, he's just glaring at you.
Okay, so everything is back to normal.
Mm.
Well, you're right now, and you have recovered your composure, so to speak. Should I leave you alone to continue what you were doing whilst I deal with a flew over the cuckoo's nest here?
Yes, something's wrong and I have to figure it out, but I just need a minute I have to find this blood, okay? It's fine, don't worry about it.
And she just kind of like toddles back off on all fours, continuing her search.
You know, I could recommend an excellent therapist.
I don't think so, because if you could, you'd probably have used them by now. Now, Alexander, I understand that you have a book up your ass about us, perhaps about me personally, perhaps about Elise, perhaps about the Tremors. It's very clear that you have a problem, and that's fine. I understand it. Most people have a problem with us. You make no sense. You come in here, you levy accusation, you tell me you know, but you don't tell me what your proof is. It's just...
I did.
What is it?
I did, Fletcher.
What is it? You told me that you know because all the Malkavians...
Her diary.
Her diary. Because the Grey Nun...
Okay, so at that, he literally slices his hand open, and he's going to use corrosive blood and spray some on the fucking... on, like, something nearby. And just be like, I've read it.
So he looks at that and he then looks at you.
Do we have a deal?
Hold on, Court, please. I gotta look up something. You're gonna get to make a roll to defend against this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll be right with you.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for something. There we go. All right, I need to make a Ross check first.
Excellent.
You're not supposed to say it like that. I'm the only one who's supposed to say it like that. Give me a composure plus subterfuge.
Composure and subterfuge. All right. Composure. Subterfuge, and then I will add. I'll spend 2 night moves.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, that is going to be a total of 7 successes with a critical.
Okay. 1, 2. Hold on. I might not get that much. 7 also.
But I have a critical.
You do have a critical. All right, I'm going to give it to you. Because you have the critical. He looks at you very intently for a moment. And he goes, "It appears that you too now know blood sorcery."
This is true.
Because you've read her book that said that she knew blood sorcery, you now also know blood sorcery.
Well, it was actually pretty easy to follow. I don't know why you keep it as such a secret. It's not that difficult.
Father Dubois, this is what we're going to do. You are going to leave. And you're going to make whatever accusations you want in whatever form you want. And should I ever feel that it is warranted, I shall address them. And if I don't, I won't. I know, as much as you do, that your accusations are baseless and that you're simply scratching that itch that you have about Elise and myself.
No.
Out of respect for the Grey Nun, I will let you walk out of here. But think on this. If you come in here telling me that the Grey Nun has been diablerized and that you think it points to us because she has blood sorcery, and that you display blood sorcery immediately after, ask yourself what an inquiring mind might start thinking, and whether or not, in your zealous and diligent pursuit of the killer. You may or may not want to be looking, perhaps, a little closer to home.
It wouldn't be the first time that the church has used fire to fight fire, so that base is unfounded. Read a book. You should, anyway. History, instead of, what is this? Metaphysical arts? Anyway. Secondly, we'll put it to a vote. And I think he looks to his left and he looks to his right, at appearing to be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What does the council say? Do we leave? Or do we pursue?
Well, Padre, you know me. I'm always up for a little, mano a mano. But I will say that he's probably a little dangerous. But, I mean, it'd be a glorious way to go. Plus, maybe
fair.
we get to eat her, and you know how much I'm into that.
Anyway. And he turns and he looks to his other side.
And the Grey Nun's like, you know what you're doing is foolish. You are putting a lot on the line for something that you know is not true. What is it you're trying to accomplish here? You know he didn't do it. You know she didn't do it. No, none of them did.
I don't think so, but we definitely need their numbers thinned.
Perhaps. And while I think it's highly probable that you might be able to kill her, Fletcher has been around for a very long time, and I would simply advise you, as a friend, Alexander, to be very careful. One does not become regent of a Tremere chantry without good reason.
Regent of a chantry of what, 3? They live in a big spooky house. There's 3 of them. Who gives a shit? That's like a high school witch coven. I don't give a fuck.
Well, you do what you must, Alexander, but you asked me for
That's
my
fair.
opinion.
That's fair. I did ask you for your opinion, but are you just saying that because he's your friend?
He's not my friend. He's just someone that I've learned to respect over the years because he was
Why?
always very gracious with knowledge and with wisdom and with helping me along my own path of discovery. I don't know these things, blood sorcery as you call it. I didn't learn it from the Tremeres. I didn't steal it from them. I was a sorcerer and a mage way before I was a kindred. And when I was embraced, those powers mutated and changed into these. And so, the Tremeres have nothing to do with me. But you already knew that. And if there's anything I know, Alexander, is that you're going to do what you want to do. And so, this is where my counsel will end.
Alright, fuck it. What happened to the shadows who used to live here?
The shadows who used to live here? What are you talking about?
This place,
Yes.
I have on good authority, is a congregation area for those who study the shadows.
I don't know. I don't keep tabs on
You
that.
know, for someone being in a political position such as yourself, you don't know shit. That's pretty bad. She knows more than you do, and she's crawling around on all floors, licking blood off the floor.
Speaking of Elise licking blood on the floor, what is Elise doing?
I am looking for the blood of Desmond. I'm looking for vampire blood.
You smell the blood of 3 different vampires. You can go about doing some blood walking to figure out which is which.
That's exactly what I want to do. However, I need things for that that I don't necessarily have on hand.
Such as,
And
you're
that
in an
takes
occult shop.
time. And blood walking, I have to have. Would there be enough blood from each to fill a silver cup? I doubt.
No, I would say that there's only one concentration of blood. So here's the thing. There's only one concentration of blood that's got enough blood to do that. And you would figure that very likely that's from the loser. And I did tell you in your vision that you saw that Desmond was really not a fighter and had not been able to put up much of a fight. And he was staked.
Yes, but they called Desmond something else in my vision.
They called him Dario Accardi, and they called him
that's
a
why
Cappadocian.
that's why she wants that blood, because she's confused. So that blood, definitely, she wants to blood walk that blood. She wants to blood dance that blood all day.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I think you would make the assumption that the larger pool of blood would be his.
Okay, yeah. I think the other vampires would be like, she would use taste for blood on that to get that's very minimal, though. It just discerns like basic traits, so she would know that they're vampires essentially from tasting it.
So what would it tell you, like maybe clan or generation?
It would determine, tasting the vitae can determine the relative blood potency. And if I get a critical, I could determine whether they had ever committed diablerie and the generation of the vampire.
Okay, so you could get the generation if you had a critical, but look, we're going to do something else. Go ahead and you're going to make me... Hold on, I just want to go back to a character sheet and get an idea of what I'm going to ask you to roll for this, since it's not a standard roll. Roll wits and insight.
Okay.
You did heal 2 hunger, right? You remember that?
I did, yes. And I am going to use a night move as well. And wow, that's 9 successes, and there's a critical in there.
You remember enough of the vision that you had earlier to be able to tell where people were, and you're pretty confident that this one over here is Desmond.
The one that I could actually blood walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just for funsies, I would like to do, since she is kind of going around tasting the blood, she's doing a taste for blood. So I would assume she would get the other 2 vampires in there. So can I just roll to see if I get criticals on those?
Sure.
And that's free. I don't have to rouse check that.
Elise is at the fucking golden corral of blood.
Oh yeah, she's taste. And Varl, I'm gonna use night moves on both of those since I have so fucking many. So that'll be 2 more night moves that I use. Okay, 3 successes on the first one. No critical there. Once more with feeling. 4 successes on the second one. Again, no criticals.
And these are on the other 2, not Desmond, right?
Yes.
They're both Giovanni.
Okay.
And one of them is 9th generation and one is 10th.
Okay. She wouldn't know the generation, but
Well, there you go. Free information.
free information. I like that. So for Bloodwalk, the ritual takes like an hour roughly. So I think she just kind of like stands up finally and she starts patting around the shop. She's looking, I imagine she would be able to find like a silver goblet in this occult shop, in this
For
occult
sure.
bookshop. You guys just see her kind of wandering around. She's just doing her own thing. You see her grab like the edge of her skirt and she like grabs the silver goblet with the edge of her skirt around it, and she's back on the ground like kneeling and scooping blood off the floor into the goblet, and then kind of looks between the two of you, doesn't say anything, and then pads off to the office and shuts the door, and you hear like the click of a lock behind her.
I think in that moment there is eye contact between between Fletcher and Alex just looks at him and goes, "She's tenacious."
You have no idea. Are we done?
I don't know, are we?
You tell me.
I don't know.
It's going
You
to
see,
take about
the
an hour
whole-
to do this, so that's the amount of
the
time
whole-
we have.
The amount of time that I have until the end of time. Do you have less time than that?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows what's in store for any of us?
Well, I mean, I do.
You do?
Yes.
What's going to happen to you if you don't stop annoying me? Can you tell me that?
Absolutely nothing.
Well, see, I wouldn't trust your powers then because they're absolutely defective.
No, that's not true. You see, I know things that you don't know. While, yes, you are a big fish in a small pond, I'm a big fish in a big pond. And you see, you don't really matter in the grand scheme of things because you're not actually playing into this city. You're just using it. You don't believe in this city. You don't believe in the power that it holds. You
That
just
what you
want
think?
to... Oh, that's what I know. Because if you actually gave, I don't know, half a shit, the Tremere would already be recognized within the Khemria of the city, but they're not. They're still outliers, vying to be acknowledged. You can say what you want, but facts are facts. You're not acknowledged. You're in between. You're little more than an anarch. We allow you to stay here. That is it. You are allowed. I'm trying to help you get a permanent seat. But you don't want to play ball? We don't have to play ball. All I care about is that the city returns to what it once was. But if you want to continue to be an asshole, then continue to be an asshole. I'm the only one here trying to help you.
Father Dubois,
Mm-hmm. That's me.
don't you have a bus to catch?
No, not for at least another 22 minutes.
Meanwhile, inside the office, you've shut the door, you've locked the door, you are doing the blood walk. Go ahead and make your roll.
Yes. Well, first things first, fun fact, I have to do a rouse check. That's a success. Just
Damn it.
dodging bullets.
Orange bullets.
And then it's... I had to actually look up the roll on this because it's like I don't understand why Demiplane does not like give you the roll, but it's stupid.
Yeah, because it's like go. You have to make a roll. Go check in general rules rather than just giving you the link or something.
I am going to use... let's do 2 night moves. Because blood sorcery is a weak spot for me. Great success. 4 successes for blood walking. Essentially, what I can learn out of this is I learn the generation, the name of the subject, and the subject's sire. If I were to have gotten a critical, I could also learn active blood bonds. Bummer I didn't get that, but that's fine.
Give me 1 second while I go look up the sire's name.
Yeah.
Because I actually have that. I just have to go find it. I have to go into the VtM Montreal duets folder to dig this one out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Digging deep.
Digging deep. Cleave. There we go. The subject's name is Dario Accardi. He is a Cappadocian. He is 6th generation. He is nearly 1,000 years old. And his sire is one Angelico Cardinelli.
And in my vision, he looked like Desmond.
He in your vision,
Mm-hmm.
physically, he looks like Desmond, yes. Which is basically this. But without the spirit effect that I put on spirits.
Yeah. Oh wait, he looks like Dario. He doesn't look like Desmond.
He looks like Dario.
I'm confused because in my vision you said he was Desmond.
Yeah, but Desmond looks like Dario. But until now, you had no clue that Dario looked like.
Son of a bitch.
Up until now.
Right.
You had no reason to think that what Desmond looked like was anything other than, but I'm telling you now that Desmond physically looks like Dario.
I think you broke my brain. Excuse me a moment. You guys just see the door kind of swing open and smack the wall, and she's just standing there, and she looks a bit bewildered.
So you just saw in your vision him getting smoked by a 10th and a 9th generation, a 10th and a 9th generation. He's supposedly 1,000-year-old 6th generation vampire. So something's not adding up.
Wait, did you say that out loud?
No, that was Bleak telling me.
Well, Kurt just figured some shit out.
Hey, lollygaggers! Thank you for coming in just as we break Creep's mind.
That says a lot. I barely had one to begin with.
Creep his baby. On that bombshell reveal, we go back momentarily to another apartment across town. It has been a while, Maud, since you and Thomas were intimate. But in your nature as vampires and through the blood bond, especially since the blood bond has been reinforced. Oh, thank you so much for helping us meet. Follower goal, 1100.
Let's
That's
go.
incredible. Thank you so much, gang. As that passion is easily rekindled, and there's a reason why you were together in the first place. And while there's always a little bit of awkwardness at first when it's a rekindled intimacy, you find the rhythm pretty quickly. Dawn is nearly here. You are lying in bed, thinking about everything that's happened and how you kind of ended back up here again. What's going through your mind, and what's Maud's state of mind right now, I guess, is the question.
It's like she has this desire to change things. She always has, since she was embraced. She wanted to make a change globally. She wanted to impact mortals. She wanted to, particularly, help women. And she has not always felt, how do I put this? She's felt respected by Thomas, and that's why many years ago she accepted a blood bond with him, knowing what it was going to do to her. But she didn't anticipate it getting in the way of her goals. Like, she keeps getting this creeping feeling like it is, but anytime the thought manifests in her mind, she goes to look at it and Thomas is there. But tonight, after the conversation that she had, finally feeling like there's a bit of honesty that she's now realizing hasn't been present in their relationship for a long time, I think as they pull apart from each other this time, she can see it when she looks at it. And it's not in a disrespectful way. It's not in a way that she wants to see Thomas fail or be less than he is. In fact, there's still that strong urge to build him up, but she wants to have that power for herself too. He says he wants it. And, well, she wants what he wants. So she's confused, but empowered in a weird way.
And as you're thinking about all of this, there's a little something nagging in the back of your mind. There's that last thought left behind by the Tremere Primogen of how bonds can become burdensome, and if you ever wanted to be rid of yours, that they could help you. And just wondering why she said that. What is it that she saw? What is it that she thought she saw that would have made her say that? And at that moment, Thomas walks back into the room carrying the remains of the bottle and the 2 glasses. And he says, "We've just now, for the first time in several years, had sex. And you're already getting your mail delivered here." And he hands you an envelope. And that envelope is white and of an old kind of paper. And there's just the name Maud written in front of it. And there is a wax seal on the back.
Thomas, why do you think that I would have my mail delivered here?
I don't know, because this was in the living room when I went out there to get the bottles, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't there originally. I think she is looking at that, and
I think she would be confused if she didn't see a car fold the other day. And just with all of the information presented to her, I think she just looks at him and goes, "Don't tell me I need to connect these dots for you." And she holds out her hand to accept the letter.
And he hesitates for a second, but then he puts it in your hand.
I'd like to open it.
You open it, and when you crack the seal, which has a black fleur-de-lis on it, you read, "Dear Maud, you are cordially invited to attend our monthly high ritual to be held at 1755 Rue des Anges in Saint-Sauveur on the 19th of September at midnight. This is a semi-formal event.
A party?
Well, what is it?"
An invitation.
From?
Well, she flips it over both sides, looking it over again. It doesn't say, but it does have this. And she shows him the symbol.
He reaches out, he takes it from you, he looks at it. He goes, "That's them.
Say that again?
That's them.
That's them. Oh.
Annabelle's gonna be there." He climbs into bed, reaches out, puts his hand around the back of your neck, and holds the card aloft in front of you. And you can tell that he's exerting pressure and he's kind of pushing down on you and pushing back. And he says, "Do you have what it takes to take it?"
The invitation.
What it represents. This
Nestling
is the opportunity.
Nestling myself into the hands of Annabelle.
Do you have what it takes to take it?
I'll ask you this. With what you know about her and the discussions that you've had, especially regarding Fleur de Lis, or, I'm sorry, Lys Noir, excuse me. What do you think this is?
What doesn't matter? It's the opportunity. Are you hesitating?
No, I'm not
After all this
hesitating.
talk?
Thomas, I'm looking to gain what information you have in case there's anything that you were not telling me about this before I present myself to this opportunity.
Are you going to be strong enough to take it?
I am strong enough to demand an answer to
Then
my
stop
question.
talking and take it. Show me.
Thomas. Of course I'm taking it. Can you please answer my question?
I don't see you taking anything. I see you leaning back, asking questions, wondering, fearing.
I have done so much of this uninformed.
Are you going to take it or not?
Is that what you expect? I rip the paper from his hand. Do you expect me to just move forward uninformed?
As you grab it and hold it, he's still holding it. He's like, "You're going to have to do better than that. Now show me."
Like literally he wants me to rip it from his hands?
What do you do?
This is interesting, because here I am sitting at a hunger 4. I'm quite ravenous.
You don't have to make any rolls of anything. Just tell me what you do.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna bite at his arm.
And on that note, on that bite, Ulan
Just
tonight.
sink my teeth into him.
There you go.
Fine.
Finally. A little bit of chutzpah.